Hello and welcome to everyone watching this video today. So usually I do a weekly reading, but I am a bit late in doing that this week. So I've kind of just gone with the feel of just doing a reading, seeing what comes up, and the topic will be whatever is the general message. It could be for this week, it could be for the rest of this month. Whatever comes, I'm sure it'll be quite clear when the messages come through. So I felt like I wanted to do a video because it has been a while, and well, not a while, but it's been longer than normal. It's normally sort of every 6-7 days. So we'll be honest with you, had a bit of a wobbly few days. I'm sure all of us have those, and not really been in the right energy to be able to do this. So I'm feeling a bit better today, and I've had so much love and so much support from people, so I'm really grateful for that. And yeah, I think sometimes these things just kind of happen, don't they, to help us realise what love and support we do have in our lives, and also just to kind of recalibrate and just make sure that we rest and make sure that we balance. And there seems to be a massive message coming through for this week. There has been on my Instagram and my Facebook post, you'll see the last two cards that came out have been mainly about balance. So maybe that might be the general message of today's reading. Maybe it might be something different. But I just wanted to send so much love out to anyone who is struggling at the moment, anyone who's feeling stuck, a bit low, a bit down, a bit just unclear, foggy. If you've been tearful, there seems to be a lot of emotions going around at the moment, and I honestly do think it's just making way for something really good to come in. So fingers crossed that is the right feel that I'm getting, right, the vibe that I'm getting, and and just sending so much love out to you all. Anyway, so before I start the reading, I'm just gonna introduce you to my new deck, which I kind of have done on Instagram anyway, but if you haven't caught that, then I will just show you. So I've got a brand new amazing deck by Patrick Gamble, which is an artist, a reader, an intuitive. He's just awesome. I went to a Mind, Body, Spirit fair recently and saw his work, and I was just blown away. So there's a massive book here, and this book comes with the cards here. I'll just show you a few. So they're little cards, but they come with a massive book, and they are just beautiful. Every card has got his artwork on, which is just literally, as I say, it just blew me away. So and this book literally has it has all the descriptions as they normally do, the cards, although I do read intuitively, so I won't be reading from the book. But obviously if you're ever stuck, you can use the book to kind of just see if there's any messages in there that resonate. And so they have all the descriptions of each card. They also have the colours and what the colours mean, and that's really helpful. So I'm certainly learning from this. And just guidance, like tips and things of how to read cards. If you are interested in learning how to read cards, even though I kind of just picked it up myself, really, may have read the books to start with, but then over time you learn to listen to your own inner guidance. So yes, I'm just using those today, so that'll be interesting. I've tried to obviously use them as much as possible before this reading to so they can pick up my energy and I can pick up the messages. And then we're just using the usual angel prayers, because I felt that they have been a great support throughout all the other readings. And also, I just wanted to say, so before I started the reading today, I got these two cards that literally, I was shuffling the cards and I was asking for the right messages to come through for you guys. And I felt like these two just came out for me, really, just before I kind of, before I asked for the guidance actually for you guys. These cards just literally stood out on top, and all the other cards were face down and these ones are face up, and I literally got quite tearful because one says creation and it's got the number 22, and 22 is all about balance. And this week I've got a bit emotional about work, and kind of getting a bit tearful about, you know, not being able to fully, you know, do this as my career. And this just literally, you know, spells out balance. It spells out, you know, being creative, you know. And as soon as I picked these cards up, it was saying about creativity, which I feel this is creative. It's using my inner creativity, and also home sweet home, which, you know, I am at home today. I took the day off work and I cried as soon as I got this, because it just I feel a lot better when I'm at home. I feel like a lot better when I'm in my creativity and when I'm doing things I love. And it's all about that balance, you know, balancing work life and stuff that you love. And so it just really just spoke to me. And then we got also just before I started the shuffling properly for you guys, I also got discovery, which is all what I'm about. You know, it's about self-discovery, about discovering you know, your passions, your purpose, what you're meant to be here for, and yeah, just I don't know, I just and the colour orange is about creativity as well. So yeah, so I felt like that was perfect, and it was just it just made me feel quite settled before your reading. So I'm in a good place at the moment to do your reading. So I thought I'd just share that with you, just to kind of show you that, you know, you do get support from the cards if you need them, and they tell you exactly what you need to hear sometimes. Yeah, and also there's that message about balance as well. So I'm going to get on with the reading. I'm going to shuffle the cards as I'm speaking. So what messages do we need to hear? Oh, there we go. What messages do my beautiful subscribers and watchers need to hear today, or whenever they're watching the video? So we've got 3 come out already. Oh God, I love these cards so much. They're so beautiful. Okay, is there anything else that we need to know? Anything else we need to know? Or hear, or see, or feel? Oh, feel came. Oh yeah, feel. You're probably thinking, what is she going on about? Okay, so anything else we need to know? No, I think we're done with that. Got quite a few come out. Okay, so I'm just going to start with these separately, these cards. So the Spirit Oracle deck. And I may just draw on the book for the colours, because I'm still learning the colours. I want it to be something that I get on top of with the colours, because I do feel quite connected to colours on cards when they come through anyway. Obviously, I will use my own intuitive wisdom as well. But let's go. Okay, so so the first card is Wolf Medicine. Okay, just gonna let you tune into that. I don't know why I'm saying you tune into this, but if anyone's watching who does read cards, then you know, there you go. Pick up anything that you can. I mean, obviously, I recommend to listen to your own guidance anyway. So some of these messages might resonate and some might not. But use your own guidance, your own intuition, whatever you feel comes up for you. Okay, because that is ultimately that's the truth. So, okay, so this instantly brings up a feel of just feeling quite dull, feeling quite lethargic, feeling quite, I'm picking up like observant, and yeah, just being observant, just kind of listening, watching. It's almost, I'm just picking up on the wolf energy here. So the wolf I've just got an image of the wolf kind of in the woods and obviously looking out and observing what's around. You know, I feel like he's on guard for something. Maybe there's like people around you or situations going on where you just don't know what's going on. So you're being observant, you're listening, as I say, you're watching to see what happens. But I feel there's a bit of fogginess there, so I feel like it's really unclear. You just don't know. You don't know how to approach this situation or this person or these people, whatever's going on. There's a bit of, you're just like, you don't know if to move. You don't know if to move forward or not. There's a bit of fear there, so I don't know whether someone is fearful of a situation. Sorry, my voice is going funny. That can sometimes be fearful of, communication, fearful of wanting to speak up. Not sure whether to say something to someone or to some people. I feel like you've got, and sorry, I'm being quite slow with these because I am still kind of tuning into these cards and trying to get used to them. So I may be a bit, as I say, maybe a bit slower today. And obviously my energy has been really low as well. So this is what happens. I do feel like I can do this reading today, but I will just say it might be slower and I might just have to, pace myself because, I am using my energy and, obviously my energy has been quite low recently anyway. So stick with me, please. Hopefully you can stick with me, and hopefully the speed will pick up and the energy will pick up as I go along, and I do feel like it will do. So, okay, so I feel like you hold the power, you hold the strength, you hold something within you that is going to help you move forward, okay? There's a 2 and a 3 here, so 2 and 3 obviously together make 5, and 5 is changes. So I do feel like there's going to be changes within you. There's going to be shifts within you that help you to move forward, that help you to make a decision. I do feel like you're thinking way too seriously about this. So there seems to be a real serious energy. And I'm really picking that up. I'm really feeling that. It's so serious. It's like there's just you don't see any colour. Like, as though there's like grey. I mean, there's colour in this card, but I do feel like you're feeling very grey. And also there's a sense of you're just looking at the black and white. Even though you're feeling grey, you're looking at the black and white. You're not looking at the grey areas. You're not looking at the in-between bits. So try to come out of your black and white thinking, and all of the other cards are colourful, so it's moving into a more colourful view, not just black and white thinking. There is something about communication here. My throat's cleared a bit since I said that, and also there's blue here, so blue is the colour of communication. So like the throat chakra is communication, speaking your truth, speaking up about a situation, and I feel like you do just need that different way of thinking, different perspective, get out of the black and white thinking to help you to communicate and move forward. Apologies if I keep looking over this side. I'm getting used, because I've turned my camera over to the other side and I'm used to looking at the camera upwards. So yeah, just ignore me with that. Okay, so the next card is Earth Connections. And we've got a 2 and an 8 here, so 28. 2 is, again, balance. It's also, the 8 is abundance, and the 2 and the 8 together is 10, so 10 is completion. So I feel like something is completing. Maybe you've been around in certain cycles for a while, maybe for years, months, But I feel like you're completing something. So you're coming full circle and you're completing something, you're starting something new. I do feel like you have needed to connect to nature, you've needed to connect with yourself, you've needed to ground yourself, or you do need to. So if you haven't done that yet, you do need to. So spend some time in nature, spend some time with yourself, you know, really settling into your body, listening to your body, listening to yourself. Again, there's that balance coming through, you know, to rest, recuperate, recharge. You know, if you have been work, or if you have been too busy, this is a sign to slow down, really pay attention to yourself, really pay attention to your body. Okay. Green is the colour of heart chakra. So it's connecting with your heart, connecting with your body. Again, your heart's in your body, so it's just that message of body. You know, really listen to yourself, really feel your breath, really hear your breath, you know, and just tune into what your body is telling you and what your heart is telling you. Okay. Yeah, it's just really about being grounded, you know. I feel to tell some people to look up grounding techniques, you know, because it may really help you if you are feeling a bit wobbly, if you are feeling a bit uneasy, unsteady, and, you know, stuck in a certain area. Okay. And then the next one is contemplation. So again, you know, it's a brown colour. I'm going to go a lot more colours on this reading because these cards just are really so colourful, and that's what I was drawn to. There's brown here, which again is about sort of grounding. It's earthy. It's, you know, it's really getting just being down to earth, like just getting grounded, putting your feet in the soil, like just, you know, just really feeling into your body again, you know, and staying firm on the ground. Done another reading today with my washing machine on, so ignore the noise in the background. So I do also feel to look up frog energy, because there's a frog on here, and as much as I'd love to be able to tell you what all of these animal signs are, I hope to learn all these in future, along with the colours and things like that. But I don't know them fully yet, so I feel to tell some people to look up frog or toad symbolism, okay, because there will be a message for you there. And there's something that coming through about doing something out of the norm, like just doing something that just isn't within the norm. Okay, so this toad is smoking. Okay, so how often do you see a toad smoking? Okay, so, you know, this is like, well, that's unusual, that's not normal. Okay, but what is normal? I feel to just, you know, say to you to ask yourself, what is normal? Okay, because so many of us can think, you know, oh, I don't feel normal, or people just won't think I'm normal, people will think I'm unusual, or they'll just, you know, they'll judge me. And this is, again, it's like connecting with yourself, connecting with your truth. You know, what's normal for you? Like, what do you feel is more suited to you? You know, what makes you you? So this is like, stop worrying about everybody else, stop worrying about what other people think. You know, I've had people say to me, I don't really get what you do, like I don't believe in what you do, I don't, you know, I'm quite skeptical about it, I don't really get it, like I'm not on board with it. And it's like, well, that's fine, and you know, that's absolutely fine, that's normal for you, and this is now my new normal, you know, connecting with, you know, spiritual things, connecting with you know, visions, and you know, my intuition, and all of these, like, these cards and ways of helping people. And as long as I'm helping people, I don't care, because I just think it resonates for me, it feels normal to me. There's a community, there's people who do this, so I don't feel, you know, completely on my own with it. You know, there's people who do get it, people do understand it. You know, there's things I don't understand that other people do, but I'm not gonna judge them, I'm not gonna you know, just take the mick out of them or whatever. You know, that's their truth, that's their normal. So I feel to say, you know, what is your normal, you know, what makes sense to you. Okay. So the next card is doorway. Okay, so I do feel like I actually see a closed door here. Okay, I actually see I've just got an image of like a doorway with like and this has got red, so maybe that's why I thought about it, but it's got like a red sign on it saying like no way out or danger or something like that. And I feel this is to do with your fears. Okay, so I feel like someone is really fearful, and that comes back to this card here. So we've got fears, you know, what are you scared about, what are you worried about, what are you being observant, you know, what are you tentative about, you know, not sure what to do. And I feel like someone's just put a big red sign on a closed door in front of them, and is just like, no, I'm not going in there because it's too scary, or I'm not coming out of this room because it's too scary. You know, whatever's out there is way too scary for me. I'm not doing it. Okay. But what I do see is, if I am imagining the door opening, I'm just seeing like this red sign just fall to the ground, and all of this light just coming through this doorway. There's not even a doorway on here, which is really unusual, because even though it says doorway, there's not a doorway there. So that to me says illusion. Okay, it says you're making it up or your mind is making it up. Okay, you don't need to worry. There's nothing to worry about. Actually, you know, all there is beauty. There's waterfalls here, there's rainbow colours, there's a hummingbird, which I've looked into recently because I love hummingbirds, and I just really want to know what their message was. And hummingbirds are all about joy, luck, freedom, just do it like playfulness, you know, fun, colourful. Like, they're very colourful, they're very bright. And so this, you know, this says there's no doorway there, there's no danger, there's no fear. So it's just an illusion, it's just being created in your mind. Okay, so just imagine what could be on the other side of the door. Okay, so I feel like it's a really strong message for people who are really in their fear, really worried about what's going to happen. Take a new perspective, add more colour. So obviously, you know, when you were in grey before and black and white, you know, you weren't thinking in terms of colour. You weren't thinking in terms of, you know, what could the in-betweeny bits be? You know, what other things could come of this? So it's to add a bit of colour in, you know, think outside the box, think of different things that could happen. Okay. And then we've got Dreamweaver. Okay. I keep saying okay, I've noticed that. For those who've noticed that too, I do say okay quite a lot. But well, never mind. So 6 and 2. Okay, so 6 is, for me, for some reason, 6 has always been related to the material world. Being too attached to the material world. And 2 is balance again. So I told you balance was going to come through quite a lot, because it does seem like quite a strong message for this week. So it's balancing that out. It's not being too connected to the material world. And then 8, so 6 and 2 is 8. 8 is abundance. It's good things coming in. It's inviting good things into your life as well. And Dreamweaver is, you know, creating your own dreams, you know, weaving your own web of life, really, creating whatever you want to see in your life. So, you know, you can't do that when you're coming from a place of, this is what's going to happen, you know, I'm scared of this because this is what's going to happen, when you don't even know that that's the truth. Again, it's that illusion. You know, it's that you're creating that yourself. You know, you've got no proof of that. So have a look at, you know, whether I've got proof of that. You know, is that actually true? Is that 100% true, what I'm believing in? You know, all my fears, are they true? And if you can't say 100% that it's truth, then create a new story. You know, create a positive story. Create something that you want to attract in, you know. Start taking action, start having those conversations, start like finding out the truth. Okay, so if you need to speak to a certain person, to get clarity on what's actually happening, then you need to go to speak to them. You know, you need to have that conversation. You need to say, look, I've been worried about this. Is it true? You know, what's going on? Or maybe, you know, it's time for you to speak your truth and just say, look, I'm worried about this, you know. I don't know, maybe it's in terms of like speaking to a friend or speaking to a family member or a partner, and you've been making all these stories up in your head, and you just need to have that conversation. You just need to say, look, can we sort this out? Or, you know, I don't know what it is, but it just feels like that. There's, again, orange is, you know, creativity. Again, it's like, you know, as I say, creating your own dreams, creating what stories you want to be living out. Yeah, I think that's it from that. Okay, and then we've got the mermaid. So I remember this one came up for feeling. So I said, what do we want to feel? And this is a very emotional card, okay? So I feel like, so the water is reminding me of like emotion, like the flow of, you know, when we sort of cry, there's this like flow, isn't there? There's like flow of emotions, flood of emotions. And, you know, water is closely connected to emotions, being emotional. And I want to just say that that is absolutely fine. That is normal. That is natural. Don't ever feel like you can't be emotional. So yesterday I did post a thing about this on Instagram anyway, and Facebook. I said, you know, I had a wobbly moment. I had a big vulnerable situation, you know, and I was very embarrassed about it. I was embarrassed about it. I felt guilty for not being able to do what everyone else was doing. I felt like, I don't know, I just felt wrong for it for some reason. And it really just stood out to me. You know, I saw a post about vulnerability and I was just like, okay, I know this. I know that it's okay to be vulnerable. I know that it's a strength to be vulnerable. It's a gift. It's, you know, to actually connect with your emotions, to feel into them is a gift. It's a strength. It's, you know, don't feel like it's weak. You know, it's definitely not weak. Whenever I have been vulnerable or emotional, I've had so much love, so much support. People have actually like felt closer to me and they have seen more of me. Okay, so that's what vulnerability does. You know, that is what being ourselves completely does. Being in our emotions, being with every bit of our human being does. You know, it connects you to people. It brings you closer to people. You know, some people might struggle with people crying around them. They might back away, but ultimately, you know, I think that is kind of your own. That's your own thing. That's your own fears. That's your own, you know, maybe triggers, things like that. But, you know, I'm sure you don't want people to back away from you if you are crying, if you know, if you are angry, if, you know. And it's just to say it's absolutely normal. It's as I say, it's a strength. It's not to be sniffed at, I'm hearing. I don't normally say that, so that just came through. It's not to be sniffed at. Okay. And then, yeah, so 5 is changes. And then we've got 5 and 4. So as you notice, I'm working with colours and numbers in these cards. So there's just so much that comes through on these cards. So 5 is big changes. 4 is being in alignment with your true self and your true path. And so 5 and 4 is 9, and 9 is letting go of old beliefs, old like paradigms, old like just stuff that doesn't serve you anymore. So maybe you were a believer that being vulnerable is weak. You know, maybe you believe that crying shows weakness. That, you know, being emotional is a weakness. That sensitivity is a weakness. Whatever you feel, I feel like this is to say, just let go of that, okay? Let go of that belief, because it's really not true, okay? So, and there is more. yeah, and just like the colour, let's say the colour blue is mainly sort of communication. It's also about so we've got light blue and dark blue. Light blue is mainly communication. Dark blue is more sort of seeing, seeing like it's all about like insight as well, and connecting to your inner knowing, your intuition. It's also, yes, listening, it's observing, you know, as well. So maybe you're just listening to this, observing this, and you know, and it's just a way of helping you to communicate with that part of you that just knows deep down that this is correct, this is right. Okay. And then we've got the last one of this, so it's keeper of wisdom. And again, you know, keeper of wisdom, so it's the wisdom inside of you. It's like you know this, you know deep down that this is true, and it's like, why? I feel like one of you, maybe it is one of you, some of you are saying, oh God, I've lost it, hang on. Yeah, hang on, let me just connect to it again. So someone is saying, why did I let myself believe this? Why did I let myself, you know, go down this route or think like this? Or, you know, I'm so stupid. And someone's being really self-critical. Someone's being really harsh on themselves. I want to just say, you don't need to be self-critical either. You know, I'm not telling you off for anything. But it's like, yeah, don't believe what your mind tells you. Don't believe in your fears and all that. But also don't be hard on yourself for that, okay? Because it's natural, it's normal. Everyone has fears. Everyone even has a self-critic, you know. Everyone just makes up stories in their minds, you know. People assume things about people and situations that aren't true, but it's just what our mind does to us, you know. It's normal. So don't feel bad about that either. It's kind of like me yesterday, you know, where I was putting myself down for being vulnerable, and then I was like, oh, I'm putting myself down, so then I told myself off for that, and it's kind of this never-ending cycle. It's like layer upon layer of self-criticism. It's just like makes it worse. It kind of digs you deeper into the ground. And you know, as long as we can kind of keep just an open mind about all of this, so keep an open mind about the fears, keep an open mind about why you got those fears, you know, and just be more compassionate to yourself, be more loving to yourself, you know, just say, look, it's okay, you know, I got upset, it's okay that I thought that I was being weak, you know, because it's just natural. It's what my mind does to me, you know. Ultimately, I know that, you know, deep down is that wisdom. It's ultimately, I know that I'm creating these fears. I know they're not true. I know that I'm emotional. I know that, you know, vulnerability isn't a weakness and all this. So I know that deep down inside, and that's what matters. Okay. Yeah, I don't feel there's much in terms of numbers on this one, but I mean, owls are all about wisdom, you know, they're all about seeing the bigger picture, they're all about being alert and aware. So as long as you've got that self-awareness, I think that is just like the main thing. Like self-awareness goes a long, long way. You know, if you're aware that you're thinking these things and you're aware that you're speaking this way to yourself, that is like brilliant starting point. That's like, you know, I'm aware of this, so I can choose to do something about it. You know, I can choose to change this thought. I can choose to take action in a different way. I can choose to create my dreams, you know, whatever. You can go from that step. Okay. Okay, so this is becoming quite a long reading, but I feel like there's not going to be many angel cards, so let's let's just try these. Okay, do we have any further guidance from the angel prayers? Yeah, got one. Is there anything else we need to know for this video today? What did I say? There's not many cards, so we've got one card, so that's good. Okay, so we've got Miracle of Forgiveness. I'm smiling because I feel like this is just it just kind of wraps up everything that I've just said, it's about forgiving yourself for having these thoughts, forgiving yourself for being harsh, being harsh to yourself, forgiving that self-critic. Imagine it as, you're a little girl or little boy, and you may have gone through some really horrible times in your life, and that would have installed the fear. Okay, so that's already put that in your mind. Okay, that's already installed that. And so whenever anything comes up in your life to trigger that fear, it's automatically going to come to the surface. It's still there. It just sticks there. It's like this chewing gum that just won't come off your shoe. Like, do you know what I mean? Don't know why I just thought of that. But it's not going to go anywhere. It's still going to come up every now and again. And just know that it will always come up. But you just have, as long as you're aware of it, you can choose to change that. Okay, so so you're a little girl or boy, you've been through these horrible experiences that have installed fear. They're going to come up, and then you'll also have this voice that will come in. Maybe you've had bullies in your life, maybe you've had horrible experiences with your parents or friends or whoever in your life has ever said anything horrible to you. And there will be people, there's always people who've said horrible things. Those things stick in your mind as well. So unfortunately, our minds cling on to a lot more negative things than they do positive. Okay, you probably won't remember hardly any positive things that you've heard, but you always remember the horrible things. I know what I do. Like, there's things in my mind that just stick there all the time, and even from years and years ago, you always remember those horrible things that people have said. Well, that's the same as the fears. It's just stuck there. And as long as you're aware of it, as long as you know that they're always going to be there, you have the choice to decide whether you're still in that old, you're still a young child in that situation. If you're not, then you're now in this new situation, and you can decide what to do with that. So you're like, well, okay, I don't live with that person anymore who said that horrible thing. This is a different person. Maybe that might not be the same with that person, or I'm not with that partner anymore who was, horrible to me and did these horrible things to me. I'm with this new partner and they're beautiful and lovely. Are they really going to do that to me? It's about changing your perspective. It's about changing your old ways of thinking, because even though that seed is there, even though that chewing gum is there, you can choose to scrape it off. You can choose to get rid of it. You can choose to yes, you might step in some more later on. Sorry, I'm using this. It's just coming up for me. You might step in some more later on, but you can always scrape it off. You can always get rid of it, okay? You can always choose to, clean your shoes. Oh my God, why am I using this? Oh well, but I hope it helps people. Anyway, so there's that forgiveness. Forgive yourself for having these thoughts. Forgive yourself for being critical to yourself, because you're only human, okay? It's normal. Anyway, I am going to wrap that up right there. I feel like I've rambled on, but my energy is picked up. So as you've seen, this really does pick up my energy. This really does help balance me out. And, when you are doing something you love, and that's another thing, if anyone needs to hear this, when you are doing something you love, when you're doing something creative, when you're actually using your inner gifts and your inner just things that light you up, your energy will change. It will help you shift into a different vibe and different energy. So I'm gonna love you and leave you there. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like, subscribe, comment, and share if you're lovely enough. And thank you so much again. I will post another video soon. See you later. Bye.